Gulf countries have been arm twisting us on the behest of their rich oil resources. However, it seems that those days are just numbered, and India will soon shun these countries' monopolistic behavior. Soaring oil imports from Russia and India's efforts to move towards clean energy have paved the way for India's energy sufficiency. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video I will tell you how Russia's increased oil exports to India has effectively decreased the Gulf dominance. Before March 2022, India imported about 85% of its oil requirement, with the highest share from Gulf countries, with 24% from Iraq, 18% from Saudi Arabia, and 11% from UAE. About 50% of oil came from these three countries. But the recent geopolitical overhaul has changed this oil relationship once and for all. Reports suggest that Russia has finally dethroned Saudi Arabia as India's second biggest oil partner. Following the Ukraine war, Europe imposed huge sanctions on Russia and cut oil imports. Taking the opportunity in hand, India started to take Russian oil at a much discounted price. According to Bloomberg, Russian crude was much cheaper than Saudi crude. In May, Russia was offering almost $19 a barrel discount on its crude as compared to Saudi Arabia. Although in June the discount narrowed to $13 with an average price of $102 per barrel, but the Russian rate remains cheaper than Saudi. Considering the price variations from the ninth largest in 2021, Russia became the second largest oil partner to India, finally replacing Saudi Arabia. In the overall oil competitive market, Iraq remained the number 2 supplier to India. On one hand, Saudi Arabia tried to capitalize on Ukrainian crisis in earning dollars. Iraq tried to increase its Indian shares by decreasing oil prices. In June, when Saudi Arabia supplied oil at a price of $115 per barrel, Russia supplied $102 per barrel. Competing with oil, Iraq supplied with a much discounted price of $93 per barrel. The game of discounting helped Iraq to maintain its top oil supplier throne of India. Iraq constantly maintained its 25% average oil export to India, whereas Saudi Arabia and UAE constantly decreased their oil export shares to India. In April, when Saudi Arabia's share in India's imports was around 19%, it reached 12% in June. Similarly, UAE's share in India's imports was 15% in April, which decreased to 7% in June. In this oil battle, Iraq seems to be winning India's 1/4 oil import share with 26% in June. The newly released numbers are nothing less than a setback for the Arab world. The Arab world is infertile, to say the least. Only 2% of the area falling under the ambit of Gulf Cooperation Council is arable. That is why the region is heavily dependent on oil and related petrodollars for revenue. In fact, it won't be a far-fetched argument to assert that whatever modernities Arabians have, it is only on the back of oil revenues. The downfall of oil relationship with Saudi Arabia will finally end their decades of arm twisting. On behalf of Pakistan, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation has constantly tried to poke its nose into the internal affairs of India. Saudi Arabia has been an influential member of OIC, and oil dependency on the country has largely affected India's political maneuvering in international affairs. With the decrease in dependency on Saudi, India will finally see a new dawn in geopolitics.